Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
Hare
प्रभु
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
Hare
शिवास
Ram, Hare Ram,
गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
हरे राम राम हरे हरे हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
हरे
Hare
राम
Krishna,
राम
Hare
हरे हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Hare
कृष्ण
Ram, Hare
हरे
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
कृष्ण
Ram, Hare
हरे राम
Krishna, Hare Ram,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
हरे
Ram,
राम हरे कृष्ण
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna, Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, 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 Ram,
Ram Rama Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Rama Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram Rama Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Rama
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Ram Rama Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram Rama Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram Rama
Hare,
Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Rama Ram Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Hare Hare,
Ram
Krishna,
Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram Rama Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram
Hare Krishna,
Rama Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna Getting
Hare
about
Krishna,
the
Hare
channel
Krishna,
with
Krishna
happy that Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram
Krishna,
Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Rama Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram Rama Ram Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram Rama Ram Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Rama
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Ram 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Ram
Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram
స్ప్రే చేస్తానంటే సెల్లు ఎయిటీ టవర్ తీసాను.
Just yeah, just in place. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Ram.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Hare
Gadadhara
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Devas Hare Gaurav Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram
Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Ram Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram,
Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Ram Ram
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare Krishna Ram 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 Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Krishna Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Ram Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Ram Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
బృంద ఎన్ని గంటలకు వెళ్తుంది నార్మల్గా ఉన్నావా? కెన్ యూ ఆన్సర్ ప్లీజ్?
చెప్పండి
బృంద ఎన్ని
చెప్పండి
గంటలకు వెళ్తుంది ఇంటి నుంచి?
35 అవుతుంది అప్పుడప్పుడు 35, 40.
సో అతను ఎప్పుడు వస్తాడు డ్రైవర్?
అదే 35 ముందు ఫోన్ చేస్తాడు 5 minutes ముందు,
ఓకే
40కి బయటికి వెళ్తారు.
థ్యాంక్ యూ డివోటీస్ ఫర్ జాయినింగ్ టుడే. దండవత్ ప్రణామ్స్. ఆల్ గ్లోరీస్ టు శ్రీల ప్రభుపాద అండ్ గురుదేవ్. నమో విష్ణుపాదాయ కృష్ణ పృష్ఠాయ భూతలే శ్రీమతే భక్తివేదాంత స్వామి నిధి నామినే నమస్తే సారస్వతి దేవే గౌరవాణి ప్రచారిణే నిర్విశేష శూన్యవాది పాశ్చాత్య దేశతారిణే శ్రీకృష్ణ చైతన్య ప్రభు నిత్యానంద శ్రీ అద్వైత గదాధార శివాసహది గౌర భక్త వృంద. హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే 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 రామ 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 హరే హరే. మూకం కరోతి వాచాలం పంగుములంగాయతే గిరిం యత్కృపాతమహం వందే శ్రీగురుం దినతారిణం పరమానంద మాధవం శ్రీ చైతన్యమీశ్వరం. ఓం అపవిత్ర పవిత్రో వా సర్వామస్తం గతోపి వా యస్మరేత్ పుండరీకాక్షం స్వబాహ్యాభ్యంతరం శుచిః. శ్రీ విష్ణు శ్రీ విష్ణు శ్రీ విష్ణు. ఓం తద్విష్ణు పరమం పదం సదా పశ్యంతి సూరయో దివీవ చక్షురంతతం తద్విప్రాస విపన్యవో జాగృహంస సమిందతే విష్ణు యత్పరమం పదం. హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే 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 రామ 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 హరే హరే. Thank you very much again. So we'll continue where we left yesterday. We are at text Bhagavad Gita, text 7.11. We need to start. Okay, let me share now. Let's look. Yeah. Please recite, okay? Hare Krishna. 7.11. Balam balavatam chaham
बलं
बलं
बलवतां
बलवतां
चाहं
चाहं
kamaraga vivarjitam
कामरागविवर्जितम्
कामरागविवर्जितं
dharma aviruddha bhuteshu
धर्माविरुद्धो
धर्माविरुद्धभूतेषु
भूतेषु
kamosmi bharatarshava.
कामोऽस्मि
कामोऽस्मि
भरतर्षभा।
भरतर्षभ
4 lines together. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Chant please.
बलं
बलं
बलवतां
बलवतां
चाहं
चाहं
कामरागाविवर्जितं
कामरागविवर्जितं
धर्माविरुद्धो
धर्माविरुद्धो
भूतेषु
भूतेषु
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभा।
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत
हाँ,
प्रणामालु माता जी से दंडवत प्रणामालु
हरे
जय
कृष्ण
जय।
दंडवत प्रणाम।
बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागाविवर्जितं धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ. శీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదము. ఓ భరతవంశ శ్రేష్ఠుడా, బలవంతులలోని కామరాగరహితమైన బలమును మరియు ధర్మ సిద్ధాంతములకు విరుద్ధము కానట్టి కామ సంభోగమును నేనే అయి ఉంటిని. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ. థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ. ఒక్క నిమిషం రమేష్, జస్ట్ ఎ మినిట్. ఇంగ్లీష్ read the meaning. Prasad Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam. Okay. Translation by His Divinity Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sixth life, which is not contrary to the religious principles, O Lord of Bharatas, Arjuna.
Self-explanatory. No need to explain
Yes, Prabhu.
what is Krishna is telling directly to us. Okay, next. 7.12. Please chant. Ye chaiva satvika bhava
ये
ये
चैव
चैव सात्विका
सात्विका
भावा
भावा
rajasastamashye
राजसास्तामसाश्चये
राजसास्तामसाश्चर्ये
mattayeveti tan vidhi
मत्तयेवेति तान्
मत्तयेवेति तान्
विद्धि
विद्धि
natvaham teshu te mayi.
न त्वाहं
नत्वहं
तेषु ते
तेषु ते
मयि।
मयि
4 lines together. Ye chaiva satvika bhava
Eva
rajasastamashye
Satvika.
mattayeveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mayi. Please chant.
ये चैव सात्विका
ये चैव
भावा
सात्विका भावा
राजसस्तामसाश्चया मत्ता
राजसास्तामसाश्चर्ये
एव तान् विद्धि
मत्तयेवेति
न
तान्
त्वाहं
विद्धि
तेषु ते मयि।
नत्वहं तेषु ते मयि
Swaham.
ये चैव सात्विका भावा राजसस्तामसाश्चये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि. శీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదము. సత్వగుణముతో కూడినట్టి గాని, రజోగుణముతో కూడినట్టి గాని, లేదా తమో గుణముతో కూడినట్టి గాని జీవుని భావనలన్నీ నా శక్తి నుండే ఉద్భవించనని నీ వెరుగుము. ఒక విధముగా నేనే సర్వమునైనను సర్వస్వతంత్రుడను. ప్రకృతి త్రిగుణముల అధీనములో నేను ఉండను. ఎందుకనగా దానికి విరుద్ధముగా అవి నాలోనే ఉండును. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Wonderful, Hare Krishna. Raju Prabhu, are you able to?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Know that all state of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are on the contrary, are within me.
Within me. దాని అర్థం ఏం చెప్పండి బాబు. మొత్తం 3 modes అన్ని క్రియేటెడ్ బై హోమ్?
Krishna only, Prabhuji.
Krishna only. Know that all states of being, be they of, are manifested by energy. So see, material world means 3 modes కదా, అంతేనా? Material world means 3 modes. Material living entity means under the 3 modes of material nature. దైవీ ఏష గుణమా ఇంకో దగ్గర చెప్తాడు కృష్ణుడు, రైట్? దైవీ ఏష గుణమాయి మమ మాయా దురత్యయ మామేవే ప్రపద్యంతే గుణమయి. ఇది గుణాలను క్రియేట్ చేసింది ఆయననే, మనల్ని పెట్టేది ఆయన అందులో. బట్ ఈజ్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. కృష్ణ is situated beyond the three modes, transcendental. అందుకే అంటాం కృష్ణుని, రైట్? బియాండ్ ది త్రీ మోడ్స్. ట్రాన్స్జెండల్ మీన్స్ నాట్ అండర్ దిస్ మోడ్స్, ఈజ్ బియాండ్ ది త్రీ మోడ్స్. Bhakti Yoga also beyond the three modes. Krishna also beyond the three modes. So how to get rid of these three modes? We need to take association of the holy name. Holy name also beyond the three modes. That's the thing. I am not under the modes of material nature. We are also not under the modes of material nature. When? Tell me. We are also not under the modes of material nature. When it's going to be? Chapani? We are right now under the modes of material nature, right?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Then opposite.
You
When?
become Suddha Tattva.
How? Okay. I am not under the modes of material nature. Krishna directly చెప్తున్నాడు. So we can also be not
Suddha
under
Tattva.
the modes. We can also be same. Mam cheyo vichayena bhakti yogena sevate. Tell me.
సగుణాన్ సమతీతేతాన్ బ్రహ్మభూయాయ కల్పతే.
అది కథ. కృష్ణుడు ఇక్కడ డిఫైన్ చేసిండు. అందరూ అననే ఇంద్రనే మూడు గుణాలతో సతమతం అవుతా ఉంటారు. I only created, I cast them into them in these three modes. Okay, suffering, struggling. Yeah. So then Krishna also given solution also, right? In different slokas. Daivi esha gunamai mama maya drutya. Then mam cheva bicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Guna. Gunale మొత్తం మనల్ని either going down or going up. త్రిగుణాత్మకమైనటువంటి, this is the material nature is designed by these three modes only. Material world అంటే three modes, simple. అందుకే త్రీ ropes, త్రీ ఉమెన్ చూపిస్తారు, ఇట్లా పుల్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది కదా సోల్ని, రైట్? ఒక పిక్చర్ ఉంటుంది, భలే బ్రహ్మాండమైనటువంటి డిపిక్షన్ యాక్చువల్ అది. త్రీ మోడ్స్. దైవి శక్తి, కృష్ణుని దైవి శక్తి. ఇది మాయాశక్తి మీన్స్ దైవి శక్తి, కృష్ణ శక్తి. One last sloka then for today, then let us chant 7:13. This sloka is very important. Interesting. 7th chapter అన్ని జెమ్స్ అండ్ శ్లోకాస్ ఉన్నాయి. 7th chapter అన్ని కూడా మత్త పరతరం నాణ్యత్ భూమిరాపోనలో వాయు, ఫేమస్. Very well. 7:11 and 7:13. Very well. Yeah. 7:13. Same. Tribhirguna. Please chant. Tribhirguna mayir bhavair.
నిర్గుణమయైర్భావైర్
Ebi sarvamidam jagat.
Vairibhi sarvamidam jagat.
Mohitam nabhijanati.
Mohitam nabhijanati.
Mamebhya paramavyayam.
Mamebhya paramavyayam.
4 lines together. Yeah. Tribhirguna mayir bhavair. Ebi
Tribhirgunamayir
jagat.
bhavair.
Mohitam nabhijanati. Mamebhya paramavyayam. Now chant, Prabhu. Yeah, 4 lines.
Tribhirgunamayir
सर्वमिदं जगत्
Mohitam
मोहितं
nabhijanati.
नाभिजानाति
Mamebhya
मामेभ्यः
paramavyayam.
Now, Lalita Madhavi, come on, read. Mere Jain Mata Yaribal, yeah. Chant sloka chanting.
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् येऽपि सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति మామేభ్యః పరమవ్యయం. శీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదం. సమస్త విశ్వము సత్వరజస్తమో రజస్తమం నశ్చులనే త్రిగుణముచే మోహింపజేయబడినదై ఈ గుణములకు అతీతుడను మరియు అవ్యయుడను అయిన నన్ను ఎరుగలేకుండెను. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Thank you, Mataji. Read, Lalita Madhavi.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Deluded by the three modes of material nature, that is goodness, passion and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible.
Yeah, deluded by three modes. Who is deluding? Conditioned soul or who is deluding?
We conditioned souls. Yeah.
The three modes ante is equals to conditioned life, yes or no?
Yes.
Goodness, passion, ignorance. Even goodness also. The whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and ఇక్కడ 7th chapter ఇట్లా చెప్పిందా, 14th chapter లో డైరెక్ట్ గా డెఫినేషన్స్ ఇస్తున్నమాట. ఫస్ట్ introduction of this everything. There he is giving solutions sequentially. 7 and 14 if you see. parallel. If we draw line parallelly, we see understanding. Deluded by the three modes. Yeah. Haribol, thank
ఎక్కడైనా
you.
మళ్ళీ భక్తి యోగా కలుపుతారు ప్రభుపాద. మళ్ళీ అక్కడ 14 days ఆల్దో ఇట్స్ లైక్ జ్ఞాన యోగా, మళ్ళీ ఈ కనెక్టెడ్ టు భక్తి యోగా. వెన్ యూ పర్ఫార్మ్ యూ కెన్ రైజ్ అబౌట్ దిస్ 3 modes అని, ఐ మీన్ సమతీత్యైతన్ బ్రహ్మభూయాయ కల్పతే అని, రైట్? సో హీఈస్ గివింగ్ నాలెడ్జ్. ఇంకా ఎందుకంటే సెంటిమెంట్ కాకుండా ఇట్స్ లైక్ కన్ఫర్మేషన్ లాగా, అంతేనా?
Yes.
విత్
Yes, yes.
ప్రూఫ్స్, విత్ నాలెడ్జ్. యా, దట్ ఇస్
Yeah.
ఆల్సో భక్తి యోగా విత్ నాలెడ్జ్.
Correct. See, Bhakti or inclusive of all other అంటే ఫస్ట్ అందుకే బై ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇచ్చిన విశ్వనాథ్ చక్రవర్తి ఠాకూర్, రైట్? ఆచార్య. Everything is important only. To protect bhakti, we need karma yoga, we need jnana yoga also. But bhakti yoga inclusive of everything. When we
Yes.
perform bhakti yoga nicely, we are doing karma yoga, we are doing jnana yoga, and we are doing even ashtanga yoga also.
Yes, yes.
When we focusly, attentively chanting Hare Krishna Maha mantra, what better than this? ఇంకా అష్టాంగ యోగా చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు యాక్చువల్లీ.
కరెక్ట్. యాక్చువల్గా మన సెకండ్ క్యాంటో అనుకుంటా, సెకండ్ క్యాంటోలో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారు లైక్ అన్ని, ఐ మీన్ ఏమంటారు 9 stages ఆఫ్ భక్తి ఉంది కదా, ఆదో శ్రద్ధ సాధు సంఘ, అది కంపేర్ టు దిస్ అష్టాంగ యోగా. వన్ ఆఫ్ ద పర్పట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ సీన్ అండ్ ఐ సర్చ్ ఫర్ దట్. అండ్ ఇప్పుడు కృష్ణ కూడా చెప్తాడు కదా భగవద్గీతలో 10.8లో, అహం సర్వస్య ప్రభువో మత్త సర్వం ప్రవర్తతే ఇతి మత్వా భజంతేమం బుధాభావ సమన్విత. అంటే ఎవరైతే ఇంటెలిజెంట్ పర్సన్సో వాళ్ళు మాత్రమే నన్ను అర్థం చేసుకుంటారు, సో దట్ దే కెన్ వర్షిప్ మీ అని, రైట్? ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ లేకపోతే వి కెనాట్ కంటిన్యూ ద సస్టెనెన్స్, రైట్? కొన్ని రోజులు చేస్తాము, తర్వాత మళ్ళీ వేరే అనిపిస్తే వేరే దేవుని దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళిపోతాం. వన్స్ యూ ఫిక్స్ యువర్ మైండ్ హూ ఇస్ ద సుప్రీం పర్సనాలిటీ ఆఫ్ గాడెడ్, దెన్ డెఫినెట్లీ విల్ వర్క్ ఆన్ దట్, రైట్? భజిస్తాం, భజన చేస్తాం.
Yeah. See,
హీస్ కంక్లూడింగ్ హీస్ గ్రేట్నెస్, హీస్ ఓన్లీ కంక్లూడింగ్. అందరూ చెప్పిండ్రు భాగవతంలో డిఫరెంట్, బట్ ఇన్ భగవద్గీత ఆల్సో సో మెనీ టైమ్స్ మత్త పరతరం నాణ్యాత్ అని చెప్పిండు. అంటే నాకన్నా ఇంకా ట్రూత్ లేదు, నాకన్నా సుపీరియారిటీ లేదు, నాకన్నా నేనే ఈ భౌతిక, ఐ మీన్ ఆధ్యాత్మిక ప్రపంచాలు సృష్టించేవాడిని, ఇవన్నీ తెలిసిన వాడు నన్ను తప్ప వేరే వాళ్ళని చేస్తే ఎట్లుంటది, రైట్? తెలివిగల్లోడు అదే చేస్తాడు అని,
అందుకే
నాలెడ్జ్ కావాలి.
ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ ఆల్సో డెల్యూజన్ ఉంటుంది. ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ ఆల్సో అవిధి పూర్వకంగా చేస్తారు. సో బట్ డివోటీస్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ నరిష్డ్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్
by hearing from Guru Sadhu Shastra. Yeah. We cannot understand.
Krishna and the Guru, if you follow proper Guru Parampara, situated in the Guru Parampara, or following in the Guru Parampara, we will get to know. Thank you very much for adding Hare Krishna. Okay. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Krishna Arjuna ki jai. Hari Bol. So we will continue with Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, chapter 42 in volume 2. So let me open, okay. June 27, 1973. అది చూడాలి మనం. Okay. Developing my 42. Okay. And then we need June 27. Okay. So we'll continue from.
To this reading, we are going to different places of dhams. ఇప్పుడు మాయాపూర్. Yeah.
Beginning years లో వెళ్తున్నాం మా ధామ్ విజిట్స్. ఓకే. బిగినింగ్ ఇయర్స్ ఆఫ్ శిలా ప్రభుపాదాస్ కోర్ పిల్లర్స్, భూమిక ఏమంటారు దాని ఏమంటారు, శంకుస్థాపన భూమిక. అది ఇస్ ద హిస్టరీ. యూనో ఏం లేని 40 రూపీస్తోనే అమెరికా వెళ్ళి ఇవన్నీ చేసిందంటే ఎంత కృష్ణుడే చేయించిన యాక్చువల్గా మొత్తం, రైట్? ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ కృష్ణ ఈజ్ డూయింగ్ బిహైండ్ ద సీన్స్. Amazing story, real story, purifying story. We get at least some motivation and inspiration to do something for Prabhupada at least. Correct? What he did for us. ఇప్పుడు టకడక శ్లోకాలు చెప్తున్నాం, మొత్తం పరతరం ఇవన్నీ ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చినవి యాక్చువల్లీ? కరెక్ట్ క్లియర్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ గివెన్ బై ప్రభుపాద ఓన్లీ, నీట్గా, రైట్? నార్మల్గా వేరే భగవద్గీత తీసుకొని చదువుతున్నాం అనుకోండి, ఐ డోంట్ నో, ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు డిఫరెంట్ డైరెక్షన్స్. We never know proper understanding. This is correct personal understanding, proper understanding, and perfect understanding, and perfect path. Prabhupada writes a book, Path of
Perfection.
this is
Perfection.
Path of Perfection. POP, POP, Path of Perfection. We'll continue. So let me start. Since last few days I haven't మొత్తం ప్రభుజీ మేనేజ్ చేసిన నైస్గా. వెరీ గుడ్, థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభు అగైన్, ప్రసాద్ ప్రభు. ఐ విల్ స్టార్ట్ ఫర్ సమ్ టైమ్. దిస్ ఇస్ ఫర్ మై వెరిఫికేషన్. లెట్ మీ డూ. June 27, 1973, ఫ్రమ్ మాయాపూర్, Prabhupada went to కోల్కతా. అప్పుడు కలకత్తా అంటారు, ఇప్పుడు కోల్కతా, కే అయిపోయింది, అది సిఏఎల్వై కేఓ అయిపోయింది, కలకత్తా. He wrote to Tamala Krishna Goswami. Okay, there is a suggestion by Shyam Sundar. ఇటాలిక్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఇది క్యారెక్టర్ ఇటాలిక్స్ ఉంటాయి, ప్రభుపాద డైరెక్ట్లీ చెప్తున్నాను అనమాట, ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అవన్నీ కూడా. There is a suggestion by Shyam Sundar that I may go to London for meeting very important men there in the new house given us by George. But I want to make some definite settlement of Bombay affairs before I return to Europe or America. If there is a suitable place for me to stay for a few days in Bombay, I can go there immediately, and from there I may go to London. Prabhupada words, very good. While considering his itinerary, Prabhupada passed some days in Kolkata temple on Albert Road. How many of you went this temple? మనం వెళ్ళినాం కదా, గుర్తుందా మీకు?
Yes, yes.
Yes, bro. నేను
కోల్కతా
వెళ్ళాను bro.
ఆల్బర్ట్ టెంపుల్ ఇప్పుడు మంచి బిల్డ్ చేశారు.
ఇప్పుడు కొత్తగా టెంపుల్ అయిందా, కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేసిండ్రా, మాడిఫికేషన్?
అది నడుస్తుంది, అది అది మనం చూసింది మాడిఫికేషన్ చేసిన టెంపుల్.
ప్లేస్ లో ఉంటుంది కదా ప్రభు, మెయిన్ సిటీలో అదే కదా మీరు?
ఆల్బర్ట్ రోడ్.
మనకు అక్కడ అకామిడేషన్ ఇచ్చారు.
అది కాదు, అది 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 అకామిడేషన్, ఆల్బర్ట్ రోడ్ కాదు, అది వేరు. ఇది ఇట్ సైడ్ మనం ఫస్ట్ వచ్చింది. ఫస్ట్ లా అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి ఇంకో టెంపుల్కి వచ్చినాం కదా, అక్కడ బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ చేసినాం. యా,
ఓ చిన్నది పైన.
రైట్. He was very free about allowing people to see him, and his room was often filled with local Bengalis as well as his own disciples. Seated on the white sheet before him, in the evenings he would go, even when it meant riding for miles through congested parts of the city, to spend an hour in someone's home preaching Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada's sister, Bhavatarini, known as Pisima to Prabhupada's disciples, would also visit the Kolkata temple to see her beloved brother and, as usual, to cook for him. One day, however, a few hours after eating her kachori, Prabhupada felt sharp pains in his stomach. He closed his doors and went to bed. His followers became very concerned. When his servant, Shrutakirti, came into the room, he found him tossing. Srila Prabhupada, what's wrong? My stomach, Prabhupada replied. That coconut kachori, it was not cooked. The Caesar continued all night, and several devotees continually massaged Prabhupada's body, especially his stomach, but with every breath he would moan. Pisima was standing by, but Prabhupada's disciples feared her presence, thinking she might want to cook something else for him, even in his illness. Prabhupada asked that the picture of Lord Narasimha be taken from the altar and put beside his bed. Some devotees feared that Prabhupada might be about to pass away. Oh God. The next morning, when the illness continued, the devotees called for the local Kaviraja, Ayurvedic doctor. The old Kaviraja came and diagnosed Prabhupada's illness as severe blood dysentery. మీకు తెలుసుగా, సైన్స్ తర్వాత చెప్పండి ఆన్సర్. ఈ లెఫ్ట్ మెడిసిన్, but it was
లూజ్ మోషన్స్ అన్నట్టు అంతే.
okay. He left medicine, but it was ineffectual. Later, when Prabhupada called Bhavananda to his room and requested fried puris with a little patala, an Indian vegetable similar to a small squash, and salt, Bhavananda protested. Such fried foods would be the worst thing for him. Prabhupada said that this was the blood dysentery cure his mother had given during his childhood. He then called for his sister and, speaking to her in Bengali, told her to prepare puris and patala. A few hours after taking the food, Prabhupada again called Bhavananda. He was feeling better. My mother was right, he remarked. A lengthy telegram arrived from Shamsundara. అప్పుడు టెలిగ్రామ్ ఉండేది కదా, ఫోన్స్ ఉంటాయి, బట్ very few people live in India at that time. And telegram also introduced during that time. A lengthy telegram arrived from Shamsundara glorifying the preaching opportunities that awaited Prabhupada in London. ఎందుకంటే ఇంకా అది రెడీ. Prabhupada also exciting to go because they acquired the George Harrison donated the property Bhaktivedanta Manor right now. Right now we call it as Bhaktivedanta Manor. It's in London. That is given by a famous band, the Beatles, George Harrison. Prabhupada also excited. He wanted to know. He got this telegram and it's ready now actually. Where he would be picked up at the airport in helicopter and flown to the main event, the greatest Rath Yatra ever held. The parade would proceed down Piccadilly Lane, climaxing under a large pavilion at Trafalgar Square. The telegram went on to say that millions of Englishmen, including certain very, very important people, were eager to see Srila Prabhupada, and that arrangements were underway for Prabhupada to instruct the Queen's eldest son, Prince Charles, in Krishna consciousness. టెలిగ్రామ్లో ఇదంతా మెసేజ్ పంపించిన శ్యామ్ సుందర్. Some of the promises were exaggerated. Srila Prabhupada knew, but his desire to preach again in England was strong. George Harrison had given the devotees a large estate 45 minutes outside of London. And Prabhupada spoke of going there and installing deities of Radha and Krishna on Janmashtami day. Yet even now, over a month before Janmashtami, he was feeling deeply affected by Shyam Sundara's invitation. Although still exhausted from dissenting, he considered flying immediately to London. Hare Krishna. Okay, now please start, Prasad Babu.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభు.
Yes, Prabhu.
శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదులు ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే calling in those GBC secretaries and sannyasis with him in Calcutta, sitting up in the bed while they sat before him on the floor. Prabhupada asked their advice. They concluded that we should go to healthier climate, Los Angeles or Hawaii, to rest and recuperate. Prabhupada mildly agreed, as his advisors decided Hawaii would be the best place, a place where the climate was ideal and where he would have a few interruptions. Suddenly, however, he sat up straighter. He would return to the west. He said, but to London, not to Hawaii, and not to recuperate, but to preach. Adi. Let me strike while the iron is hot, he said. I think that is an English maxim. If you do that, then you can keep the iron in shape. In the West, people are fed up. So we want to give them spiritual enlightenment. అప్పుడే ఫెడ్ అప్ అండి, ఇప్పుడు పరిస్థితి ఎలా ఉంది?
ఇప్పుడు ఇంకా 100 ఫెడప్స్. ఫెడప్ స్క్వేర్ అంటే ఫెడప్ 100 times స్క్వేర్.
ప్రభు మీరు అక్కడ ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి మీకు బాగా తెలుస్తుంది ప్రభు. Prabhupada had immediately convinced his disciples with his forceful statements. There are two misleading theories in the West, he continued. One is the life comes from matter, and the other is that there is no life after death. బాబా ప్రభుపాద అసలు ఒక మాట చెప్పారంటే ఇక తిరుగులేదు అసలు. మళ్ళీ చదువుతాను. ఈ రెండు థియరీస్ ఉన్నాయంట. వన్, లైఫ్ కమ్స్ ఫ్రమ్ మ్యాటర్ నుంచి లైఫ్ వస్తుంది. ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే నో లైఫ్ ఆఫ్టర్ డెత్ అంట. యూ కెన్ జస్ట్ ఎంజాయ్ దిస్ లైఫ్. ఇది థియరీ. దీనివల్ల సర్వనాశనం అవుతుంది అని చెప్తున్నాడు ఆయన. దే సే ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ మ్యాటర్. సో యాజ్ దిస్ Krishna conscious movement grows, the communist will be curbed down. People say they are trying for unity, but they have no brains to see. But they have no brains to see how this will achieve unity. They have formed a big, complicated league of nations, and now United Nations. Okay, but they all fail. But this is a simple method of Rath Yatra. Again, Rath Yatra again. But this simple method of Rath Yatra all over the world is spreading. Jagannatha means Lord of the universe. So Lord Jagannatha is now international through our ISKCON. Okay. Therefore, I want to go to West and give them these things. So nice. Yes, Prabha. Although Prabhupada appeared physically unfit to immediately fly to London to the active preaching that awaited him. His disciples submitted, accepting this is another miracle by Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah. Next, who wants to read? Ready? Read.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Okay.
London, July 7, 1973. Parveda. It was Ratha Yatra day. I saw Prabhupada coming into the temple, and he did not look very strong. I was really amazed, but I could understand that his strength was something spiritual. Dhruvanada. At the parade site, we were waiting to receive Srila Prabhupada at Marble Arch, where the procession starts. The Vyasasana was nicely decorated, and everybody was expecting Prabhupada simply to sit on his Vyasasana on the cart and just ride to the streets, just as he had done in the other Ratra Yatras. So it was to our great amazement and joy that when Prabhupada came, he refused to sit on Vyasasana. He indicated that he would dance and lead the push. Vyasvara. They brought stairs up, so Prabhupada could mount the Radha cart and sit down on the Vyasasana. But he waved them off and just started walking with the chariots, leading the dance. There are Santa. I twisted my ankle and
Dhira Shanta.
dear Tom. I twisted my ankle and could not walk, so I rode on the cart. Therefore, I could see Prabhupada very clearly. Revatinandana Maharaja was chanting into the microphone from the cart, but after about 15 minutes of the question, Prabhupada told that the devotee to tell Revatinandana Maharaja and others to come down and lead the Kirtana in the street with him. Hare Krishna. Revatinandana. When Prabhupada saw his Vyasasana on the cart, he said, "No, I am just a devotee. I will go into the position." We had a big, great Kirtana. Saduta led, I led Syam Sundara, led different devotees traded off, leading this fantastic Kirtana. And Prabhupada was right in the middle of the Kirtana with his kartas the whole time. He was dancing back and forth and jumping up and down and dancing. Rohinama. The cart was going quite slowly. Prabhupada walked about 20 or 30 yards ahead of the cart, leading the position. Meanwhile, the Kirtana was coming from the Radha cart through microphones. Prabhupada called them all down and he got he got them all around himself, and they were chanting Hare Krishna. Even so, after he would turn around and raise both his arms very majestically in the air and say, Jai Jagannath. Sometimes we would get a little further ahead, so then he would turn around and wait for the car to come on. Sometimes he was dancing and sometimes he would stand raising his hands in the air.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Who wants to do next?
I'll do, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saradiya Dasi, Prabhupada would dance and then, after a few feet, he would turn around and look up at deities with his arms raised. Then he would dance for a few moments, meditating on the deities, and then he would turn around and go on. In this way, he danced the entire way. The devotees held hands in a circle around him to protect him from the crowd. It was a wonderful transcendental affair. Prabhupada was looking up at the deities and all the devotees were behind him. Sadhujaya, Prabhupada
Sudurjaya.
surprised.
One పేర్లు చూడండి ప్రభు. Prabhupada initiated actually. what names he has given. Wonderful names. Sudurjaya.
Prabhupada surprised us. We didn't know if he was sick or not, feeling weak and dizzy or not. Sometimes he looked very ill, and sometimes he looked like an 18-year-old boy. He surprised us. He had his cane in his hand, but raised it in the air as he danced. After a while, Shamasundara came up to me and said, "Listen, he is not going to make it. Prabhupada is very ill. I want you to follow in a car. Be within the 30 seconds, reach so we can put Prabhupada in the car immediately." Going Prabhupada was going down Park Lane, and from time to time he would turn back and raise his hands. He was going so fast. He was going fast that they couldn't pull the cart fast enough to keep with him. He would have to wait for the cart to catch up. He would turn back, raise his hands, and say, "Haribol." Several times he did this. He was going fast that he had to wait. The devotees were dancing. The weather was beautiful and the crowd was wonderful. Can I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you can.
Dhruvanatha. The passerby were rooted to the spot looking at Prabhupada. A man of the age simply dancing and jumping in the air like a young boy was the most amazing sight. And then every 5 minutes or so, Prabhupada would turn around and look toward Jagannatha. The devotees would clear the way so no one blocked his sight, and he had a perfect view of Jagannatha, Balarama, and Subhadra. But after a while, the police came and mentioned that we couldn't keep stopping like this. We had to keep the whole thing going because the traffic jams were becoming critical. Devotees were crying and chanting and dancing, and there was much commotion.
Commotion.
Yeah. Sutakirti, when Prabhupada was dancing, the Bobbies kept in coming up and looking for someone official. Finally, they came to me and said, "You will have to tell your leader to sit down. He is causing too much of a disturbance. Everyone is becoming wild, and we we cannot control the crowd." So I said, "All right," but I didn't say anything to Prabhupada. So then they came again and said, "You must tell him he will have to sit down." And so I said, "All right." I tapped Prabhupada. The whole time he had been in ecstasy dancing before the cart and encouraging everyone else to dance. He would motion with his hands and encouraging the devotees to keep dancing. He kept in the momentum of festival. So I said, "Prabhupada, the policemen want you sit down. They say you are creating havoc in the parade." Prabhupada looked at me, turned and kept on. He completely ignored and it kept on dancing. Sir, kept on dancing, and they couldn't do anything. Prabhupada wouldn't stop, and the police wouldn't say anything to him. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, bro. Paravida. Who wants to read? అందరూ అయిపోయినారు. చదవండి.
Paravida, I was distributing back to Goddard magazines along the whole parade route. I was exhausted and I was having a lot of trouble keeping up with the procession. But Prabhupada was just there and he was dancing like a young boy. I was amazed at his spiritual energy. Dhruvanatha, when we came to Piccadilly Circus, Prabhupada suddenly stopped the whole procession. Piccadilly Circus, of course, was just packed with people. For about 3 minutes, Prabhupada stopped the procession and just danced and danced with the devotees all around him. Rohini Nandana. When we got to Piccadilly Circus, Prabhupada really started to dance. He was sleeping off the ground. The cart was stopped. It was very similar actually to the description in the Chaitanya Charitamrita of how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would lead the Radhayatra procession. So the cart was stopped and then Prabhupada would wait for it to catch up. Yogeshwara. When we finally arrived at Trafalgar Square and Prabhupada saw the big tent and the other arrangement the devotees had made, he held up his hands again. He had been dancing and walking the entire route of the parade. It was It must have been at least an hour that he had been walking and dancing, all the way from Hyde Park to Trafalgar Square. Can I continue or?
Continue.
Rohini Nandana. When Prabhupada got to Trafalgar Square, he immediately sat down on the plinth of Nelson's column on a little Vasasana and delivered a lecture about the holy name of Lord Krishna. This was directly after his marathon of chanting and dancing. The next day's papers carried favorable news coverage of the festival, and Prabhupada wrote of it to a disciple in Los Angeles. Prabhupada said, "You will be glad to know the Rath Yatra in London was very successful. The Daily Guardian had a picture on the front page of our cart and stated that we were competition to the monument in memory of Lord Nelson in Trafalgar Square. My health is good, and I am taking daily walk and speaking at the class in the morning." In another letter, Prabhupada wrote, "Our festival here was very well received, and I was so much encouraged by the whole thing that I was able to walk and dance the entire way from Hyde Park to Trafalgar Square." Srila Prabhupada settled into the regular routine at Bhaktivedanta Manor. Here at Bhaktivedanta Manor, he wrote, "The place is the nicest possible. It is calm and quiet, and the village is neat and clean." Prabhupada's room on the second floor was spacious enough to seat 50 guests comfortably, and its large windows overlooked the expansive grounds.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Madhavi Mataji, you joined now. You want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhupada.
Yeah, no, please read. Yeah.
Prabhupada said that if the devotees would clean up the lake and keep up the grounds, then he would stay always at Bhaktivedanta Manor and translate here in peace. They should get some cows, he said, and use some of the extra acreage for farming. Although the devotees hadn't long been living in the manor and had done little to improve the buildings and grounds, Prabhupada pointed out a place where they could one day build a 30-story temple, the grandest building in all of London. He proposed that we stay for at least 2 months and install Radha Krishna deities on Janmashtami day. He would also oversee the construction of the temple, room and altar. Every morning at about 6, Prabhupada would leave the manor for an hour's walk. There was no restriction as to who could join him, and sometimes as many as 20 devotees would trail behind, trying to hear anything he might say. Looking off toward the horizon, he commented that Lechmore helped remind him of Vrindavana. Prabhupada would walk down the lane to a place called Round Bush, stroll past a wheat field, and finally return to Lechmore Heath and the Manor. A local policeman had become friends with the devotees and would regularly exchange greetings with Prabhupada. Particularly, Prabhupada liked the cleanliness of the little village, and he would often point out even the smallest pieces of trash on the Manor grounds. The village, he said, was much neater than American towns. Samasundara had promised Srila Prabhupada many interested visitors, and Srila Prabhupada reciprocated, promising that as long as the interested people kept coming, he would remain in England each night 1 or 2 days, including scholars, priests, and occasional celebrities, would come and visit with Prabhupada for a couple of hours. Prabhupada seemed especially eager to present the philosophy of Krishna consciousness to intelligent persons. As the world's foremost Vaishnava Parampara philosopher of the Gita and the Bhagavatam, he had thoroughly reread the conclusions of the Vedic literature. He was experienced in countering all challenges and atheistic philosophies and knew what to expect from Christian, Mayavadi, atheist, anyone. If a guest mentioned the name of a philosopher or school of thought unfamiliar to Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada would simply ask, what is his philosophy? Inevitably, he would recognize the new philosophy for what it was, an old, familiar, mundane philosophy, with a new twist perhaps, easily defeated or brought to its perfection with Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was always eager to glorify Krishna and repeat Krishna's message, and with complete enthusiastic freshness, he would represent again the same points he had presented many, many times before. He said he was like a cow that gives milk in any field. Put him in India or America or England, he would always give the same nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada's entire day, his early morning dictation of Chaitanya Charitamrita, morning walk, Bhagavad Gita lecture, talks with guests revolved around philosophy. In Scotland, when a man had challenged that God will not be presented through philosophy, Prabhupada had replied, what do you expect me to talk? Some fairy tales? Philosophy was necessary, especially for the so-called intelligent persons whose minds raise so many intellectual doubts. And besides, to always be telling others about Krishna, Prabhupada said, was a symptom of love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me read again. Moved by compassion for others suffering, Prabhupada always spoke the message of Krishna and never tried of repeating it. He was genuinely angered by atheistic speculators who misled the people, because materialistic and impersonalistic philosophies ruined a person's chances of finding the solution to life's suffering. Whenever Prabhupada heard anyone arguing the Mayavada doctrine, he would become like fire. He could not tolerate it. He had to correct it. When after one of Prabhupada's lectures at the manor, a boy heard someone call the chanting of Hare Krishna a little bit of a bluff. Prabhupada had replied, who says bluff? Who is that fool? Who is that rascal? Who had been ready to fight the atheist to glorify Krishna? These were Prabhupada's natural drives. Therefore, he could go on and on, without stopping. He wanted to give people Krishna consciousness. He had no other life. Even while relaxing in the privacy of his room, he always spoke of Krishna consciousness. The devotees have invited many prominent British citizens to meet Srila Prabhupada, and the responses were good. Economist Ernst Schumacher promised to visit, as did philosopher Sir Alfred J. Ayer. When Shamsundar informed Prabhupada that Mr. Ayer was well known, Prabhupada replied, what is his philosophy? Well, Shamsundar replied, he doesn't believe in the existence of God. I will give him evidence. Prabhupada replied, I will ask him what he means by the existence of God. I will ask him to make a list of the deficiencies of God's existence. Prabhupada liked to meet with philosophical men and corner them and defeat them. Historian Arnold Doyenne was old and invalid. Therefore, Prabhupada agreed to visit him at his residence. Interested in discussing life after death, Dr. Doyenne asked Prabhupada about karma. Most people, he said, were afraid of death. Prabhupada agreed and added that according to a certain astrology, one of India's recent leaders has taken birth as a dog. So they are afraid they will go down. He said, when Doyenne asked if karma could be changed, Prabhupada replied, yes, but only by bhakti, devotion to God. Arnold Doyenne, not many people in the West are thinking of this. Prabhupada, they are less intelligent. It is not good. If they take to Krishna consciousness, they can continue to work and live in the city. But they can change their consciousness. Then automatically everything will come. Hare Krishna. So next, who wants Prasad Prabhu? 1 or 2 Zavani?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada asked Dr. Tony B about the book he was writing. Okay. And the professor replied that it concerned ancient Greece influence. Ancient Greek influence on the Greece of today. Okay. The Greeks came from India. Okay. The Greeks came from India. Prabhupada said, Vedic culture was once all over, all over the world. Gradually, the new type of culture. Just like this, recent partition of India and Pakistan took place. Prabhupada explained how in the nature future in the future how the future governments would fall to rascals and thieves whose only business would be to exploit the citizens. Food would be scarce, and the governments would levy so many taxes that the people would be harassed and go to the forest for, for shelter. Only the God conscious people would be free. The future would be an ocean of walls with but one saving factor. Simply by chanting Krishna's name, one could be free. Even though Prabhupada said the hippies were going to the forest, and the men were separated from their wives and money, and were going to the hills and forest in the disappointment. You can predict the future in this way, Prabhupada said.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Last summary.
And
Yeah. Raju Prabhu, you want to again?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Arnold Toynbee, in India, did the politicians keep the Vedas? Prabhupada, no. They threw them away. Present Indian politicians are not very satisfied with the Vedas. They threw them in the water. I have started among the Indians and Americans. And for the next 10,000 years, Krishna consciousness will increase. Then there will be a gloomy picture of Kali Yuga. 10,000 years is not a short term. It, it is our duty on behalf of Krishna. Arnold Toynbee, Prabhuji, Toynbee.
Toynbee.
Yeah. Did you travel much, Prabhupada, all over the world? A bearded young priest, active in social services, visited Prabhupada and, upon Prabhupada's prodding, debated with him about meat eating and the Bible. During the discussion, Amsaduta and Pradyumna were citing passages from the Bible against meat eating. Later, after priest and left, Prabhupada called Amsaduta back into his room and said, it was not very good for us to speak on the basis of Bible. Better we stick to Gita. Why bother to approach them for compromise or cooperation? They will never be convinced. What is the point of meeting with Pope? Those inclined to meat eating, Prabhupada said, could always find some quote in the Bible, such as the convenient with Noah after the flood. We did not even know what ghastly things are occurring in the slaughterhouse. He said, no one sees these things. The next morning, on his walk, Prabhupada continued to discussing his talk with the priest. In the name of religion, Prabhupada said, they are killing. The Bhagavatam says that cheating religion is kicked out and simply worship of God instead. Devotee. The priest last night said that Jesus ate meat, Prabhupada. Then Jesus contradicted himself. He also said, though salt not in Prabhuji, though salt not kill. Contain Prabhuji.
చంపకూడదని then
Okay. One student imitate the Ishwaras. The hippie type mendicant in India takes ganja and claims to be devotee of Shiva. No, we should not imitate the powerful controllers. That priest said, also the Bible does not say, though salt not kill, but though salt not murder. So I told him that if the word is actually though salt not murder in the original Hebrew, then Jesus must have been preaching the fourth class, 10th class 10th class murderers, and the proof is that they murder him. So such people, what can they understand about God? When I told him, the priest, the priest was silent, he couldn't answer. Another priest came to Prabhupada and again the question came up. Prabhupada asked him, then you are in favor of killing. The priest replied, well, it is fallen world. It is fallen world, said Prabhupada, but we do not have to be among the fallen. The priest cited the covenant with no. Can you continue, Prabhupada?
Thank you, Prabhu. Last somebody. All the time is right. Thank you. Anybody who have not done Vanimata, I'm seeing. Hare Krishna, you will able to? Okay. Madhava Matavi, Lilita Madhavi Madhavi. చేస్తారా చదవండి చంద్రవరి ప్రభు
Hare Krishna, bro.
చదవండి 1 2.
Prabhupada replied, maybe no allowed it at that time, the time of devastation, but that doesn't mean you always have to do it. 1 minute. To live in such a time, one can eat anything to stay alive, but now so many things are in abundance to keep healthy without maintaining a slaughterhouse. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, protect the cows. It is the duty of the Vaishyas. Although Prabhupada willingly discussed with the Christians, he admitted privately that to argue with them was a waste of time. They will never agree, he said, even if they are defeated. The best way to preach to people in general, was through the chanting the Hare Krishna as at the Ratha Yatra festival. Chant, dance, and take prasadam, and invite everyone to join. Anyway, he said they don't. Yeah, he said they don't even follow the teachings. One boy came to me and said he wanted to talk. He said, I am a Christian, but I told him, you are not a Christian. Though it shall not kill. A man from Calcutta came to Sri Prabhupada. But as soon as the man began to say something about Krishna, Prabhupada interrupted. Krishna is something very difficult to understand. We are just trying to understand that there is a next life. But the Christians say there is no future life. The man said, at the end of this one, at the end of this one, you either go to heaven or hell. But if they talk about going to heaven, said Prabhupada, then that is the next life. But knowledge of Krishna is only for the most perfect out of thousands among men.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 1000 అవని ఏదైనా శ్లోక గుర్తొస్తుందా చెప్పండి.
బహునాం జన్మనాపంతేనా సహస్రం.
Yeah, thank you. Madhavi, you want to read? After that, you read. Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji. But if they talk about going to heaven, అయిపోయింది Prabhuji?
అయిపోయింది.
Mr. Kumar, who sometimes lived in the London temple, visited Prabhupada with many questions. He wanted to work for his son, he said, but required money to send his mother in India. No, Prabhupada told him, our men work 24 hours a day without a fasting. Mr. Kumar suggested ways to improve ISKCON. The devotees needed to study more, he said, especially Sanskrit, and become scholars. Prabhupada disagreed. All we need is dedication, he said. I am not a great Sanskrit scholar, but I am pulling on. And even the scholar said it's good. My Guru Maharaja's Guru Maharaja, Gaura Kishora Dasa Babaji Maharaja, was illiterate. Still, his disciple Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada was the greatest scholar of the day. But when Gaura Kishora spoke, it was exactly from the Shastra. Our principle is not to take time to learn something and become expert and then preach. But whatever you know, preach. Class in the morning, class in the evening, and if they read my book, that's sufficient. One day, the devotees brought Prabhupada a newspaper clipping in which an expert professor, Dr. D. Jehmir, had said at a religion conference that Lord Krishna and his Bhagavad Gita teachings were immoral. Dr. Jehmir had said that a famous murderer was perhaps influenced by the Bhagavad Gita because Krishna says that the soul is immortal. So one can therefore kill. Srila Prabhupada was disgusted at the professor's ignorance. On his morning walk, he dictated to his secretary, Alchemist release and writing to Dr. Jashnat.
Thank you, Madhuri. Okay.
Thank you much.
చదవండి మీరు అంతా Madhuri.
George Harrison approached Srila Prabhupada in a submissive mode similar to that of Prabhupada disciples. Prabhupada and George took prasadam together, a special lunch of samosas, halwa, vegetables, sour cream, and puris. While they were enjoying,
ఇవన్నీ ఇస్కాన్లో మీరు తిన్నారా అమ్మా?
తిన్నాం ఫస్ట్ సమోసాతోనే కదా స్టార్ట్ అయింది.
అంటే నాకు ఆఫీస్లో జరిగింది అది. మీకెక్కడ?
నాకు హల్వా
కిచిడి హల్వా.
కిచిడి హల్వా.
కరెక్ట్ 4:30కి
హల్వా అంటే పూణే గుర్తొస్తుంది. ఎన్విసిసి పూణే డైలీ దే యూస్ టు డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ హల్వా ప్రసాదం, రైట్? అండ్ మహారాజ్ ఫేవరెట్ హల్వా.
Kunya Vihari also. Other Kunya Vihari initial is hot
కిచిడి హాట్ కిచిడి.
హల్వా ఆల్సో చిన్న కప్పులలో ఇస్తారు కదా. ఇంత కిచిడి తిని ఇంత ప్రసాదం నోట్లో వేసుకుంటే అయిపోయి కథ. కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్ లో అట్లనే స్టార్ట్ చేసింది. ఇవన్నీ చూసి ఇవే ఐటమ్ మోస్ట్లీ మనం ఇస్కాన్ లో ఉండేది అంతే కదా.
అదే కిచిడి.
చదవండి.
A special lunch of samosas, halwa, vegetables.
ఎవరో 10th డివోట్ జాయిన్ అయ్యారు. లెట్ మీ సీ. ఓకే, ఎవరైనా శ్రీహరి ప్రభు. ఓకే, చదవండి సార్, మీరు కానీ.
A special lunch of samosas, halwa, vegetables, sour cream, and puris. While they were enjoying the prasadam, Prabhupada mentioned that certain Vrindavana Pandas, professional guides at the holy place, eat too much. Haribo. Once one ate so much that he was practically dying. But he assured his son, at least I am dying from it. At least I am dying from eating and not from starving. To die of starvation is unglorious. Prabhupada smiled as he talked with George, gratefully acknowledging his donation of the manor. Have you seen my room? Prabhupada asked. It is actually your house, but my room. No, George protested, preferring the mood of a humble disciple. It is Krishna's house and your room. When George confided to Prabhupada that by taking to Krishna consciousness he was losing his friends, Prabhupada told him not to worry. He read to George from the Gita, where Krishna explains that he can be known only by devotional service. In the future, said George, ISKCON will be so large it will require executive management. Prabhupada said, I have divided the world into 12 zones with 12 representatives. As long as they keep to the spiritual principles, Krishna will help them. Before leaving, George assured Prabhupada that he would help him increase his temples. Later, Prabhupada commented, George is getting inward hope from Krishna.
Thank you. శ్రీహరి ప్రభు చదువుతారా ప్రభు?
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. చౌతన్ ప్రభుజీ
చదవండి, 2-3 పేరాలు చదవండి. విల్ స్టాప్ దేర్.
One day, an old acquaintance dropped by, Allen Ginsberg, wearing denims, suspenders, and a faded shirt and carrying a little Indian-made harmonium. You are still chanting Hare Krishna? Prabhupada asked. Yes, Allen replied. I still chant Hare Krishna, but I also chant other things. Allen asked if Prabhupada would like to hear his chanting and playing. Prabhupada nodded. Allen began playing his harmonium and chanting Om. With each recitation of the Om, his voice went deeper. Om. When the chant was over, Prabhupada began to laugh. You can chant whatever you want to chant, he said, but just keep chanting Hare Krishna. As long as you are chanting Hare Krishna, then everything else is all right. Prabhupada then allowed many devotees to join them for a big, blissful kirtana.
Though George Harrison, another famous pop singer and musician, Donovan, was drawn to come and see the renowned leader of the Hare Krishna movement, Donovan, accompanied by a musician friend and their two girlfriends in miniskirts, sat in awkward silence before Prabhupada. Prabhupada spoke. There is a verse in the Vedas that says music is the highest form of education. And he began to explain how a musician could serve Krishna. You should do like your friend George. Prabhupada said, when we will give you the themes and you can write the songs. Prabhupada said that anything, even money, could be used in the service of Krishna. But money is material. Donovan's girlfriend interrupted. What do you know? What is material and spiritual? Prabhupada said. He turned to Donovan. Do you understand? Donovan humbly replied that he was thick-headed but trying. Donovan's girlfriend then leaned over and whispered something into his ear. Whereupon Donovan stood up and said, well, we have to go now. Prabhupada insisted that at least they first take some prasadam. As soon as the guests left, Prabhupada and his disciples began to laugh. Prabhupada said, she was thinking, and he encouraged his disciples to finish the sentence. Yes, said Yogeshwara. She was thinking that if Krishna gets him, then she will lose him. Prabhupada so much liked preaching to important guests that he wanted to continue doing so wherever he traveled. Wherever I shall go now, Prabhupada wrote in a letter to a disciple, this policy of important men being invited to talk with me about our Krishna consciousness movement should be implemented. A month passed at the manor, and still several weeks remained before Janmashtami and the deity installation. So when Bhagavan requested Prabhupada to come for a visit to Paris and install Radhakrishna deities, Prabhupada agreed.
Yes, we'll stop here. Thank you. Thank you. So this 12 zone
Thank you,
concept.
Prabhupada.
Yeah, this 12 zones in the entire world. ISKCON zonal system is there. That's Prabhupada only started in the beginning. So they're implementing and expanding, and leadership is doing areas. So North America comes in, some North America, some zone name is it, zone 2 or something. Names there. All right, so we'll stopping here. Tomorrow maybe we'll complete this chapter. Okay, so Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Lila Amritam ki jai. So let me see some nice verses from Bhagavatam. Okay. Jai అయిపోయింది అనుకుంటా శృణ్వాన్ గృణాన్ సంసమనం చచింతయాన్ నామాని రూపాని జమంగళాని తే క్రియాశు యస్త్వశరణారవిందయోర్ ఆవిశ్యచేత నవభావయ కల్పతే అది అయిపోయింది అది విల్ డు దిస్ 10:5:25 10:5:25 విల్ డు ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ ప్లీజ్ చాంట్ విత్ మీ దిస్ interesting sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto 5th chapter, the meeting of Nanda Maharaja and Vasudeva. Okay, interesting sloka. 10:5 25th sloka. Naikatra priya samvasa
Naikatra
priya samvasa
Naikatra priya samvasa
Naikatra
priya samvasa
Suhrudam chitra karmanam
Suhridam Chitrakarmanam
Chitrakarmanam
Suhrudam chitra karmanam
Suhridam Chitrakarmanam
Chitrakarmanam
Mukhena vyuhyamananam
योगेन यूह्यमानानाम्
ओघेन व्यूह्यमानानाम् प्लवानां स्रोतसो यथा
प्लवानां स्रोतसो यथा
प्लवानां स्रोतसो यथा
प्लवानां स्रोतसो यथा
Two lines together we'll do. Naikatra priya samvasa suhridam chitrakarmanam.
नैकत्र प्रिय
प्रिय
संवासा
संवासा
सुहृदां
सुहृदां
चित्रकर्मणाम्
चित्रकर्मणाम्
Naikatra priya samvasa suhridam chitrakarmanam.
नैकत्र प्रिय
प्रिय
संवासा
संवासा
सुहृदां
सुहृदं
चित्रकर्मणाम्
चित्रकर्मणाम्
ओघेन व्यूह्यमानानां प्लवानां स्रोतसो यथा
भोगेन
योगेन
व्यूह्यमानानां प्लवानां
यूह्यमानानां
स्रोतसो
प्लवानां
यथा
स्रोतसो यथा
ओघेन व्यूह्यमानानां प्लवानां स्रोतसो यथा
भोगेन
योगेन
व्यूह्यमानानां
यूह्यमानानां
प्लवानां स्रोतसो
प्लवानां
यथा
स्रोतसो यथा
Okay. 4 lines together or 2 times with them, then we'll practice. Read the meaning also. Okay, yeah. Naikatra priya samvasa suhridam chitrakarmanam oghena vyuhyamananam plavanam shrotaso yata.
नैकत्र प्रिय
एकत्र
संवासा
प्रिय संवासा सुहृदां
चित्रकर्मणाम्
चित्रकर्मणां
भोगेन
योगेन
व्यूह्यमानानां प्लवानां
युह्यमानानां
स्रोतसो यथा
प्लवानां स्रोतसो यथा
स्रोतसो यथा
What a beautiful sloka. Yeah, we'll read the meaning now. One more time. Naikatra priya samvasa suhridam chitrakarmanam oghena vyuhyamananam plavanam shrotaso yata.
नैकत्र प्रिय
नैकत्र
संवासा
प्रिय संवासा
सुहृदां
सुहृदां
चित्रकर्मणाम्
चित्रकर्मणां
भोगेन
योगेन
व्यूह्यमानानां प्लवानां
युह्यमानानां
स्रोतसो यथा
प्लवानां स्रोतसा यथा
Read the meaning. Lalita Madhi, very good. Read okay.
Translation: Many planks and sticks, unable to stay together, are carried away by the force of a river's waves. Similarly, although we are intimately related with friends and family members, we are unable to stay together because of our varied past deeds and the waves of time. Instruction.
సముద్రంలో కట్టెపుల్లలు ఒక దగ్గరికి వచ్చినాయి, ఒక వేవ్ వచ్చి సపరేట్ చేసింది. అట్లా ఉంది సిచ్యువేషన్. అంటే ఎప్పుడైనా అంతే కదా. సో ఇన్ దిస్ లైఫ్ టైమ్ వాట్ ఎవర్ రిలేషన్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్ until this body, when body ends, what happens? Just like this example, separates, waves of time. Waves of time. So we'll context, we'll చూద్దాం. The meeting of Nanda Maharaja and Vasudeva.
అదే చనిపోతారు కదా, వసుదేవకి 6 చనిపోతారు కదా పిల్లలు అంతకుముందు. సో నంద మహారాజు ఈ అనాలజీ చెప్పి కన్సోల్ చేస్తాడు అన్నట్టు. 6 మెంబర్స్ అంతకుముందే చనిపోతారు కదా, వీళ్ళిద్దరు కజిన్స్ కదా, అన్న తమ్ముళ్ళు. సో ఈ కమ్స్ టు పే ట్యాక్స్ కదా, అప్పుడు కలవడానికి వచ్చినప్పుడు నంద మహారాజు వసుదేవుతో కలిసి మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటే అప్పుడు ఇది డిస్కషన్ అవుతుంది. తర్వాత వసుదేవుడు చెప్తాడు, పూతన అదే కృష్ణునికి అక్కడ గోకులంలో డేంజర్ ఉంది, నువ్వు తొందరగా వెళ్ళాలి అంటే అప్పుడు వెళ్తాడు తొందరగా ట్యాక్స్ పే చేసి. అది సిచ్యువేషన్.
ఓకే, యూ చాంట్ వన్స్ అండ్ అదర్ డివోటీస్ ఆల్సో విల్ చాంట్. ఒకసారి చాంట్ చేయండి అయిపోతుంది.
నైకత్ర ప్రియ సంవాసా సుహృదాం చిత్రకర్మణాం ఓగేన వ్యూహమానానాం ప్లవానాం శ్రోతసో యథా.
Devotees, please chant one time.
నైకత్ర ప్రియ సంవాస శూద్రాం చిత్రకర్మణాం భోగేన వ్యూహమానానాం ప్లవానాం స్రోతసో యథా.
నైకత్ర ప్రియ సంవాసా సుహృదాం చిత్రకర్మణాం భోగేన ఊహ్యమానానాం ప్లవనాం శ్రోత్రసో యథా.
Anyone?
नैकत्र प्रियसंवास सुहृदां चित्रकर्मणां योगेन युह्यमानानां प्लावानां स्तोत्रसो यथा.
Wonderful. Sir. Anybody? Prayer Prabhu?
नैकत्र प्रियसंवासा सुहृदां चित्रकर्मणां योगेन यूयमानानां प्लवानां स्रोतसो यथा.
I think everybody done, right? Okay, good. Cool. Thank you very much, devotees. So we'll continue tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam
बद्धानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Nandakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
जय
Jagadguru.
उपास.
Hari Hari Bol. Have a nice Krishna conscious day. Wednesday, right? Tuesday, huh? Tuesday, na Wednesday. Date le.
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. See you all tomorrow.